UFC Fight Night EMMETT vs. VALLEJOS just concluded, and it was an amazing card. Uh, for the most part, I mean, there was a couple of weird decisions for sure, but it was really a great card. It was a very fun card to watch, and I'm going to give you my recap over the entire card, starting with the early prelim opener of Sam Hughes and Piera Rodriguez. Piera got this one done by decision. You know, I didn't really write a whole lot of notes down for this card or for this fight. Nothing really grabbed my eye. Uh, but yeah, Piera got this one done by decision. On to the next. We had Luan Lacerda versus Hecher Sosa. And I mean, this was a solid fight. These guys were they went out there and banged. Um, he landed a big knee in the clinch, and then it was pretty much all Sosa from there on out. Um, I do have one gripe though. One gripe about this fight. You are a 12 plus billion-dollar company, Paramount Plus. Why the hell did I have to watch the entire third round without any sound? The ads had sound. The ads had sound. No sound on the fight. No sound on the decision. What are we doing? Why? Why can you not figure out live streaming the UFC? I don't understand it. You have so much money and you cannot figure out how to live stream a fighting event. Make it make sense. Get your shit figured out. This is bull. Come on now. But it was a fun fight. Sosa got this one done by decision. You know, it was kind of nice not having to listen to commentary, I will say. But commentary wasn't necessarily that bad for some of these fights. Some of them is like, what are you saying? What are you talking about, Michael Bisping? But Sosa got this one done. On to the next. We had Bia Mesquita versus Montese Rendon. Bia threw a beautiful right hand. It was right up over top of Rendon's jab, and it wobbled her, put her down, and Mesquita just had nasty ground and pound from there on out. Yeah, I mean, she got this one done 2 minutes into the first, and normally you don't see a woman's fighter getting finishes in the first, but it was beautiful ground and pound, and I believe she got the she was just kind of beating her until she chose to go to her stomach instead of staying in mount, and she took the back and got a rear naked choke. Got the job done. Bia Mesquita, beautiful first round by her. Next up, we had the Battle of the Unks. We got Brad Tavares here versus Eric Anders. And these guys, I mean, it was a great first round. And then they kind of gassed, but they gassed to the same level. So it stayed competitive the whole fight. 30-27 is wild for Anders. I definitely think Tavares won the second round, without a doubt. But I mean, yeah, it was a solid fight. A solid fight between old guys. Anders retired. He didn't lay his gloves down. He gave him to his coach, which I mean is understandable. But solid career from Anders. He got it done in his last fight. Props to him. Lots of grappling. These guys would just kind of slug on the feet. And it seemed like Tavares was getting the better of the exchanges on the feet. And then Eric Anders would get him up onto the fence and take him down and, you know, kind of just smother him from there. But Anders got this one done. Next up, we had Balaj Oki versus Manuel Sosa. nasty third round KO. He spent like the 2 minutes in the first round, holding on to a Kimura on Oki, and then like had him in a good position. I don't think he was ever really gonna have that Kimura, but he held on to it for a really long time. And then eventually they like reversed positions and Oki was on top and Sousa was still holding on to that Kimura. But they ended up getting out of it and then striking. Finally, they round ended. Second round started and Oki looked really good. He really came alive in the second round. He was hitting Sousa on the feet with some big shots. And then like 30 seconds left, he eye poked Sousa. They were kind of in the pocket, just swinging, and he pushed off. Got him right in the eye. It was a good one. But Sousa, took some time to recover and came back with a lot of energy. And then they just kind of swung until the end of the round. Third round, Sousa looked much better than Oki. Balaji just didn't seem like he recovered almost at all between the second and third round. Sousa came out in the third round, and then he was still getting clipped every now and then. Oki's a very strong guy. He has power in his shots, so he was still clipping Sousa. But then Sousa just found a big right hand, and it kind of landed like on the neck and the back of the jaw for Oki, and it put him out cold. I'm just straight to his back, sleeping on the cage. Sousa kind of stood over him and got this one done. Late third round. There's 48 seconds left. But he got it done by KO. Next up, we had Elijah Smith versus Soo-Young Yu. In the first round, they were kind of standing at range, and Yu shot in. Smith clipped him with a big knee up the middle, but Yu still got the takedown, and it kind of stayed on the ground for the rest of the round. And then second round, Smith was able to keep it on the feet and ended up dumping Yu, and then just followed it up with some nasty ground and pound. Yu gave up his back, and Smith got like it was a rear naked, but it wasn't a very technical rear naked. He had it more clasped like this instead of in the armpit or elbow hole there, whatever the hell that's called. But Smith got this one done by sub. He wanted to show he was he said in his post-fight interview he wanted the knockout, but he also wanted to show that he was a very well-rounded fighter, and that he is. Hurt Yu on the feet, and then subbed Yu with a rear naked. Early second round. Next up on the card, we had Vitor Petrino versus Steven Asplund, and this was a banger of a fight. Asplund has a hell of a chin. He is a very, very tough guy. He rocked Vitor a few times. Had him hurt bad in the first, but just couldn't finish it. But yeah, I mean it was a fun fight. Fun heavyweight fight for sure. Both guys were very, very tired. If they had just a little bit more of a gas tank, one of them could have gotten a finish. But that was a very exciting heavyweight bout, and we don't get that very often. So it was fun to see, regardless of who won. But shout out Vitor, he got it done. Asplund looked good. I don't think he lost any stock during this fight. I think his stock rose almost. Very, very skilled on the feet, and he had really solid takedown defense. Um, yeah, Vitor went 0 for 4. The first one he got, they kind of just like spun around, and it was like a scramble on the feet almost type deal. And Asplund kept it on the feet, stayed up, didn't allow the takedown, and I mean he did get busted up pretty good. He got pretty got cut below the right eye pretty bad. I want to say early second round, late first, early second, and that was kind of just bleeding a whole lot. Didn't look the best, obviously, in the judge's eyes. But, I mean, he was rocking Vitor Petrino, and he does have a very solid chin. So I'm excited to see what the future holds in the heavyweight division for Stephen Asplund. But Petrino got this one done. Next up, we had Chris Curtis versus Miktetbek Orolbai. I had Orolbai getting this one done by KO. That didn't happen. Lot of 19 takedowns in a 3-round fight. He was 2 takedowns off of tying Khabib's record. And he fought, I'm going to use what the commentary said, but he fought a lot like Khabib. He kind of just wet blanketed Chris Curtis this entire fight. Chris Curtis couldn't do anything to keep Orolbai off of him. Pretty much just smothered him. In the first round, it looked like Orolbai was chasing a finish a little bit more. Second and third, kind of just wrestle fucked Chris Curtis. But I don't know. I'm an Orolbai fan, so it was fun to watch for me. Not super action packed, but he is a big, strong welterweight. He's going on a run. I feel like I really think that he is going to be ranked very highly and possibly fight for the belt within 2 years. Orolbai got this one done. On to the main card. We got Charles Johnson versus Bruno Silva. 30-27 is absurd. Wild scorecard, in my opinion. I do think Charles Johnson did enough to get it done, but I didn't hate the 29-28 for Bruno Silva. I definitely thought Charles did enough to get it done. But I'm not gonna argue too hard against you if you want to bring in a robbery argument for Bruno Silva. But Unk got it done. I chose him to, so I'm not super angry at this decision. But Bruno looked good. He looked very solid on the feet, very fast, very good counter striking on the feet. Charles Johnson's fast on the feet, and Silva made him look slow. So, I mean, both these guys looked good in the fight, but Charles got it done in the judge's eyes. Next up, we had Ion Cutelaba versus Omar Sy. What the hell was that? At least try and get out of that, Sy. What are you doing? I had Omar Sy to win this fight. Ion Cutelaba looked good the entire fight. He got the sub. He had a mounted guillotine, I believe. Kind of locked it up and then rolled into the mount, and Sy literally tapped as soon as he rolled. But Cutelaba looked very good, much more experienced in this fight, it seemed. Obviously, Size had a lot of canceled bouts in his career, but Kutalaba got this one done. He just looked much better in this fight. Big skill gaps in the grappling, and I mean on the feet. Really, really, Sai didn't look like he was gonna do very well if it had stayed on the feet. He could have. He's a big, powerful guy, but I think Kutalaba was bound to win this fight, and I just didn't see it. But that was the last loss I had for this prediction round. So everything from here on out I chose to happen, and it did. Let's just keep that in mind for next week's card. Up next, we had Marwan Rahiki versus Harry Hardwick. This was a banger of a fight. Rahiki ended up breaking Hardwick's jaw in the second round, and then the corner called the fight, threw in the towel basically. But Rahiki is a very, very skilled striker. Hardwick looked a lot better than he did in his last fight. He looked a lot better than I expected him to look from what he was like his shadow boxing pre-fight. It looked like this guy is in trouble. But went 2 rounds with Rahiki in basically just a barroom brawl. These guys just stood and slugged. And, I mean, both of them were landing big shots. Both of them were getting rocked. But, evidently, Rahiki's power is just a little bit too much for Hardwick to handle. Broke his jaw. Called the fight. Rahiki got this one done. Moving on. We had another very solid fight. Andre Fili versus Jose Delgado. I had Delgado getting this one done, and he did. It could have gone either way, in my opinion. I would be willing to listen to your argument for Andre Fili winning this fight. But I personally think Jose Delgado did enough to get it done. It went to a split decision. Very close fight. I think in the second and third, though, he did enough to get this one done. Other than Fili's takedowns very late, Fili wasn't really doing a whole lot. I think if he had gotten the takedowns 2 minutes left in the round instead of like minute 30 seconds or whatever it was, they would have looked better. He would have done a little bit, maybe been able to do a little bit of damage with them. But Delgado got this one done, and I think he did enough in the second and third rounds. Won it by split decision. Next up, we had Amanda Lemos versus Jillian Robertson. Robertson got it done by decision. She was kind of being touted as a finishing queen, as it were. But I mean, it was a very grappling heavy. I think Robertson was looking for a sub. Lemos is pretty solid on the feet, so whenever there was a chance to get it on the ground, Robertson was taking it. And I mean, there were a lot of back and forths on the ground, a lot of scrambling, trying to kind of jockey for position. But Robertson ended up on top in the majority of them, and she came out on top in the fight. Got it done by decision. Unanimous decision. This next up, we had the main event. I mean, VALLEJOS is going to be a problem for the featherweight division. This guy is a stud. He's got just a big old block head, big old block chin. And I mean, Josh Emmett is very, very good. He's very defensively sound. Defensively sound. He's a very solid fighter. Oof. Vallejos is just. I think Vallejos is him. He's being compared to Ilya Taporia. I think we should calm down on that just a little bit, you know. But he is very good. His only loss is to Gene Silva on the Contender Series. Took Gene Silva to a decision. And I think he's looking to get that one back. And I really want to see it. I really want to see Vallejos versus Gene Silva. That would be a banger of a fight. Got this one done. He dumped Emmett. They were in a brawl. And then he just kind of kept his foot on his gas. Found the finish. Ground and pound, kind of. Emmett finally was able to kind of stand up along the fence, and Vallejos just started throwing combos, just feeding him 2-piece, 3-piece combos, and put Josh Emmett down. The ref jumped in, called the fight. Good stoppage. But yeah, Vallejos got this one done, and he's going to be a problem for this division. I think he will be fighting for the belt again within 2 years. I think he's going to be fighting for the belt. He is young, but he's malleable. You know, he can learn. Obviously, he's very, very strong. I think he's pretty solid in the grappling game also, but he's got a hell of a stand-up. And this dude can bang. That was UFC Fight Night, Emmett vs. Vallejos. I went 11-3 on this card, I believe. Let's see here. Yeah, I went 11-3. I chose Hughes, Asplund, and Omar Sy to win, and they did not. But yeah, we'll come back stronger next week. Trust. That was UFC Fight Night, Emmett vs. Vallejos. This has been Wheezy MMA. I'm Wheezy, and I'm out. Have a good one.